Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I want to talk a little bit about my practice routine. So usually when it comes to practice I use a similar guitar like this one, which has a more of a thin neck and higher access to the upper frets, so it's easier for me to do all the things that I want. Then when I go into my Les Paul and stuff like that, I gotta redo some work because all guitars are different, and one good thing about having just one guitar, and I think everybody agrees on this one, is that your technique will probably evolve more during the time than when you have like 1,000 guitars and you're always changing necks. Some guys adapt to different necks and pickups and the placement of the strings and you know, the space between the string, the stuff like that, the bridge. I'm not one of those guys, so most of the times when I'm playing with these guitars, I go into a Les Paul and something different happens. Usually, when I go from this to a Les Paul, it's harder because a Les Paul has a bit more of a chunkier neck. I have more to grab too. And when I come from a Les Paul, from practicing into this kind of guitar, Ibanez and stuff like that, it's kind of much easier, kind of you went from a classical guitar to electric guitar, you know what I mean? And usually what I do practicing, it's very rare to have like a metronome, although I recommend it, in front and just playing scales on top of that. What I do is play over backing tracks. It's not what I'm gonna do right now, but I play over backing tracks on YouTube, so I write something like blues, backing tracks or something like that. Usually there are mixes of backing tracks where they will have like 50 different tracks from 50 different styles, and that really pushes me to go and play from rock, soft rock, to metal, to stuff like Gary Moore, from blues, B.B. King, and everything is there. So whatever sound that I have, I don't change the sound. That's very important. I don't, if I have extreme, a lot of distortion like I do have right now, I'm not going to change this tone to follow the next track, meaning what I'll do is adapt myself. Of course, now I have too much distortion, but it's on purpose. What I do is use my tone knob, volume knob and tone knob and pickup selector to get different tones. So if I went from a ballad or I'm practicing doing that scale, and then suddenly I have to go into something a little bit more clean or blues. You know, I try to adjust. Of course, right now I have too much distortion, but I'll try to adjust the guitar volume and knob and tone knob so I can continue playing and not changing patches all the time. So what I like to do is start in any key, and usually using the major and minor scales. Normally I go for the minor scale, and I'll start, I don't know why, but it's a common thing for me to start in B, but on a six string. So I'll play the B minor scale, we'll add those two extra notes at the end, and then from here what I do is create melodies while I'm playing. So not necessarily going after something, but just keeping in mind if I'm doing everything correctly with my pick hand and my left hand, if it's all relaxed, because I have tendinitis right now from a long time ago, not right now, so I have to go very careful and try not to force too much my arm. And something I do sometimes is recording with my phone in slow motion so I can see how my pick goes, because I'm not a total alternate picker, you know. I cannot do all the scales doing this. It's almost impossible for me because I got to use, and I never thought about it, of doing hybrid picking or economy picking, I mean, that I never thought about that. And when I thought about that, it was kind of too late, because for now, if I want to do this, what I'm doing with my hand, I would have to go this far with my hand, like playing an acoustic guitar. I cannot do it. Sometimes it happens in the middle of an exercise, because it's very common. You start picking upwards, and then when you suddenly realize you're doing alternate picking constantly, but usually no. So I'm going to give you an example how I'll start. For example, so instead of doing sometimes I'll do exercises, I try to create melodies, and from there develop something more complicated. Now I'm going to do this in real time, which means I will fail, but it's part of the, part of the job. Let's go. See, I told you, because I'm getting warmer right now. So it's very normal to fail, guys. Don't be afraid of just showing it. Try. Right now I feel like a little bit of tension on my arm because of tendinitis. Probably you won't feel it. So I have to rest a little bit and start doing simple stuff, And try to work on my picking technique. One thing that helps you warm up, and it's very important to give you strength, is doing the bends. With vibrato, of course. I try to play patterns of certain scales, like second position of this scale. Or doing hammer-ons. And doing pull-offs. And then try to play the same thing but with the pick. For this thing I'm doing like my arm is almost kind of asleep, you know, in a sleep state. I try not to do much force here because your arm will be always with this tension that I got used to do it, and now it's very hard, very difficult for me to do it smoothly, you know. It's like shredding in one string, right? So I'm mixing basically the minor scale with the pentatonic in B. So more about the pentatonic. Arpeggio style stuff. Not super clean yet. Okay, more stuff like this. Now in a different key. What I do here is kind of like I hear my my bone like doing when I do this kind of stuff. And sometimes things that are not necessarily a scale, but 3 notes per string, like. In various places. And here I do realize that my picking is doing exactly that economy picking. Down, up, down, down, up, down, and down again. So doing up, down, forget it. There are of course some exercises like this one where I start like down, up, down, down, okay? And then suddenly, since it's down, it's 4 notes in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now the last note is down, right? So the first one becomes up. By doing this, my exercise suddenly begins, transforms itself slowly in alternate picking. So from this moment on, we'll be alternating. So you ask, well, you could start with an upstroke, but usually if you start the way you're used to. So it becomes kind of more of an alternate exercise, although in between I know I'll be doing economy picking. I just need a slow motion camera to realize that. And I also try to pick like Megadeth guitar player Marty, where he does something like this, right? Something like this. And sometimes this kind of stuff helps, not just for noise reduction from the strings, but if you're doing something in particular you want to not hear the other strings the least amount possible. He has this weird kind of technique where he plays like this, right? It kind of works. It's kind of cool because it works. Now it doesn't work if I don't have this. All the other strings will be playing at the same time. For me, it's impossible. I believe Van Halen used to do this as well. And the pick kind of is not completely straight, like this. I do have the habit when I start doing something, suddenly my pick, instead of being like this, will start to become like this. Which in this case, it's the last one I play, is not necessarily good because I start to pick the strings from here and not on the pointy side of the things. I start to pick from here and I do not realize. Now if I do like this, it's completely perpendicular to the string, so it's kind of cool. But I would need this. But this would be great for tapping exercises like Guthrie Govan does as well, that I don't know very well how to do, where he skips the strings like... Something like this. I'm doing some random notes here, okay? I want this totally perfect. Let's try it right now here. Right here. Okay. Now try to alternate, that's the difficult part, like going from the 6th to the 4th, then to the 5th, then to the 3rd. It's very cool, but it's very hard for me. Just straight up. Let's see where you join two pentatonic. I don't do this for a long time, so it's very hard for me. So I prefer to do it like in third strings, like in 4 notes per string. And this really helps. So my left camera has just died because I didn't quite format the card to have the right time, but anyways, you get the idea. Some people ask me what I use this, so this is my answer, stuff like this. And then Guthrie used to do like very fast up there a little bit, or you know, if you want to mute some noise, extra noise you get when recording high gain guitars, like, you know, you just do this. And some guys also do on the back of the guitar in the springs, so you have the most perfect isolated guitar. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video somehow. It's a different video from those I usually do. It's not a guitar lesson, it's just my tips and tricks about how do I play and do my exercise routine. Of course, it's gone very long. I'm seeing there 21 minutes, and my camera, the other camera, just died. The card is full, but everything was there while I was playing. So thank you for watching, guys. I see you on the next one. Cheers.